Well, I've done a lot of things except for my cold calls. Now I'm coming on to, and that didn't go through either. Coming on to do a couple cold calls, and instead of using from the what is it called, phone book, I guess. Um, because it's just after 9. Now I'm trying to do uh, towards the west where there's a couple hours earlier, so it should be about 7:30 out there, and I'm not getting through because I'm not dialing a special number. I'm only dialing a random number, and it appears, oh, I could call Walmart. Let's do that. See if Walmart answers their phone or if they're closed.
Thank you for choosing Walmart Canada. For listing store hours, locations, to shop online, or to view merchandise availability.
I should have known that. Uh, yeah, go through that whole process to get someone on the phone. You can't just call a branch just like that anymore. It's very efficient for the businesses, quite the hassle for the customer. So there has to be some kind of improvement so that it's convenient for the customer at the same time being efficient for the business. So what I've been doing is making a bit of a play structure for my daughter. Um, yeah, I spent a number of hours doing that. I was doing like monkey bars and I got a swing, also trampoline. Um, oh, and a tent as well. So should be a fun little thing for her to play with. Um, I've painted it. I have to take it apart, paint it some more because some areas I was unable to paint. And then I gotta put it in the location I want and assemble it again. Lots of time. Um, One huge tip for cold calls and such, if you put it off the next hour, the hour after that, and been putting it off all day, and then you realize the day's over and you have not done it yet. So one great tip would be do it first thing. First thing what you do of the day. Whatever, like a lot of times people don't look forward to do cold calls. I don't mind it. Um, I still find myself wanting to do a bunch of things. You don't want to be busy, you want to be productive. Uh, Today's Saturday and I've been taking my time with pretty much anything I've been doing today. So that has not been very helpful. I did get it done, and on, I think it's going to be Monday, I'm going to put it where it needs to be and assemble it so that she can start playing with it. It looks like something she would have lots of fun doing, and something she's been asking for a long time. Monkey bars seem to be a very simple thing. I didn't make it out of metal, which would be most convenient and best way to make it. wouldn't be as bulky. Unfortunately, in the winter time, the metal is more cold than wood, so I did wood. Anyways, that's what I've been spending my time instead of doing this. And that's one thing you'll realize as well, especially if you're learning something new, doing something uncomfortable, changing some things in your life, doing things differently, whatever it may be, you'll find that you will put things off, um, or even have the idea, oh, I'll do it later. The worst thing is if you plan on doing it a different day. That's the worst. Um, so let's say, for example, if it's, let's say today is Saturday, so then I would say, okay, I'll do it on Thursday. And by the time Thursday comes around, I have found all kinds of excuses or other things to do to make myself busy. In other words, excuses to, oh, I can't do it because I have to do all these things, or I'm doing this, or something like that. You'll find it with a lot of things like that. I guess most known and used as an example would be weight loss, exercising, quitting a habit, things like that. Um, there's a lot. I think a lot of people fall into that where they weren't. They it would be convenient and it would be nice uh, to give up a habit or to start something new, what you haven't done, and to do things better than you have done in the past. But would be nice is not going to get it done. And it's not going to get you to take action either. It has to be something what is very important to you. Where the desire is, I don't want to say do or die, but a huge urgency. Uh, if you have a big reason why, uh, it can be uh, something good or something bad. And if there's something bad, for example, you want to change it, let go of a habit, um, then it has to be a big reason why. Let's say for example, exercising, you want to take on a new uh, lifestyle like health, right? So you change your diet, the foods you eat, start eating more healthy, let go of some of the junk food, sugar foods and stuff, candies and so on. And then you go to like grains and fish and things like that. It's a huge change from somebody who eats pizza and burgers and chocolate bars or licorice or something like that to go to rice and beans and vegetables and uh, salmon, right? So just to make a complete change would be difficult. You could ease into it. I think they're both difficult, regardless how you do it. You'll have a bit of a shock, or it will seem like that if you do just quickly make the change. You have a number of cravings and things like that. Um, and then if you had a reason why, okay, let's say for example, you want to live till you're 90 or 100 years old and see your child get through college or whatever into adult age, and then also be able to see your grandchildren. what's not even yet. Like you're talking about 30, 40 years from now, and you want to be part of all that as well. Now you have a big reason why you would want to do something like that. So the same thing with changing professions, uh, going into sales. If you've never done it before, if you're uh, coming from a complete different profession, and you decide, okay, you'll learn that, and then also make an income in it, and then you'll find yourself, okay, now you got to let go of the professions you have done because that can consume all your time so that you're unable to learn the new profession and actually apply it. So when your friends or family come to you and say, well, you're just wasting your time, like you're not being productive, you're sitting there learning it, you're listening to the education part of it, uh, or you're practicing a little, they might not see the value in it, and they'll say, "Oh no, come and do this," and that you can see from start to finish. And unfortunately, with sales, you can make any amount of income, and if you repair something or build something or whatever it may be, uh, chances are, especially if you do it for yourself or for family or something like that, you you probably could go and buy it for $100 or $200 or something like that, and you can make in 1 hour. Well, I'd say 1 hour, but to do the messaging and advertising and cold call or whatever it may be, and then get the next call for a close call and things like that. So it add up to be more than just 1 hour. The close itself could be, well, usually it's around half an hour to an hour to close. And you do bigger items where you're making $500 on commission or a couple of thousand on commission, then why wouldn't you do that and then go buy, you know, whatever, instead of sitting there and spending a whole day trying to build something or make something, you could just buy it. So time is more valuable than money, and therefore you have to use your time wisely. And when you give time, it has to make, like, how much value is it to you to give that time? And does it matter if whoever you're giving your time to realizes the value or not? And that you have to all uh, know yourself how important that is and what value that is. So if someone takes an hour of your time and they think the value is only $10, you're wasting your time. Don't give it for $10. If it's a loved one and such, and you just wanted to give your time to them, okay, then it doesn't matter the person who's getting your time, what they think the value is. As long as it's something you want to do, or because you find it importance other than money, then you can make that call. choice. And even before you become successful, the learning process and the time in learning, practicing and building the skill has just as much value of time, like you put your time into something like that, has just as much value as being successful and closing these deals where you're getting the commissions of $1,000 or $5,000. Depends on what you're selling and the commission percentage. So if you get that, and you know you're going to have that. So with learning uh, and building your skill, the more time you put into that, the more quickly you'll get to the commissioner where you can actually close and you go on the calls and you do those things. You improve your ratio that you're closing more, uh, things like that. And without the learning and building your skill, then you can't do the actual closing and making the commissions. That's why I say there is just as much value in learning where you're learning the skill, building your skill has just as much value if you want to do it by the hour or whatever you want to, however you want to calculate it, to compare with the success. Because the beginning brings you into the success. And that's why uh, others may not see it and don't listen to that. Just know where you want to go, and the more you work on it, the faster you'll get there. So don't let somebody distract you, take you off of what you're working for and working towards to achieve. And like that's what I did today. I was able to put that off. I could, like, I did it on my own time. I did it as I wanted, and halfway through or before I started, I could jump on my calls, make this video, and then go back or start the project. So it's can't blame anyone. It was my own choice, my own idea, things like that. And it was for a loved one, my daughter, which is 6 years old. So she didn't literally ask me. She has asked in the past and stuff, and I've seen her interest and told her I'd make one for her. And it's actually been a number of months before actually, like now I finally made one. So, um, yeah. So for me, it's the value, not, not only like I could go buy one. Um, I could go buy one, and she'd be happy with that. I also want her to see that. See that I'm capable of doing multiple things, and so then I made one now. I don't want her to think though, like we can enjoy little projects of doing different things. Uh, what I really, and we did. I put her on a cold call actually, and I put her on her channel, just a little piece of what she did. It was pretty cute. I want her to learn that. I also want her to learn um, putting people together, managing things. If she wants to achieve something, she can put a number of professionals together and have them achieve it, and that would be her achievement to be able to do all that. And that's what I want her to learn. To play around and just be creative and try different things. I let her do a lot of little projects. I even let her just come up with her own stuff. I think creativity, even in cold calls and sales and such, is really good to have creativity. I constantly put make new scripts. I brainstorm what I should say, tonality, how I should greet people, and then how to respond if they say something this way or that way, happy or sad or angry or whatever. I constantly thinking and being creative that way. And with her playing, she likes to mix things. She likes to paint stuff. She likes to dance, sing, all kinds of things. And even if she makes a mess, I let her do it. I know it's going to be a mess, and I just think the freedom of trying things is a great idea. Sometimes you come across you come across things which otherwise you would have never discovered. And with being able to do that, it gives you ideas. Something happens and then you realize, oh, how about this, And I think I've watched Steve Jobs' movie. They made a movie of him. I think a few of them already. I don't know which version it was. And he had, I guess he didn't like going doing things by the rules or whatever you want to call it. So in school he dropped out, but he still hung around. He slept on the floor and stuff because he didn't have his own place there, just with his friends and things like that. And then he came to work and he didn't get along with anyone because he thought everybody was doing a sloppy job, I guess you could call it. I don't know. And so anyway, he ended up going to his friend's house, and his friend had created like his own computer. And even though Steve Jobs hadn't created that, he seen the opportunity, and then he convinced his friend, and they went further with it, and then kept getting more creative. And even though he didn't build all of those things, but he visioned all of that stuff, and he found people to build those things for him. And that's where I see the creativity is great, to have vision and things like that. I see my daughter being a lot like that. I have a huge interest in things like that as well. I have to constantly control myself not to just become busy, right? So that I can make the best of my time and be productive. So I've jumped into a number of things here. I think Monday is gonna start some, and I've joined a travel agency. So if you guys want to find cheap way to travel, pretty much half the price of any other travel agency, then yeah, contact me. Um, I've I've also joined, and starting Monday is closing. So I'll be closing for an influencer. Um, so what I'm going to be doing is not only closing, but we're going to work together on a number of things and improve ourselves and the business and things like that. So I'm very excited about all that. It's given me a bunch of opportunity. Uh, this travel, that's going to give me a huge opportunity to be able to travel for a lot less, so I can go more places more often. And this closing is going to increase my income. That's going to be great. I don't think I'll be able to put it on my videos, so I'll still jump on every day and continue my cold calls. And I'm gonna on many days I will work with doing the cold calls first thing in the day, or one of the first things in the day. Because if I start let's say if I get up at 5 in the morning, then um, I don't want to be calling people too early, right? So some people don't get up that early. So I think at the earliest I might have to do like 9 o'clock. Yeah. Well, I guess that would be interesting too. Oh, it wouldn't be nice though. I won't do it. Uh, call somebody 5 in the morning, and boy, would they. Oh, it depends on who, but uh, they might have some words to say. That wouldn't be a good cold call. It would be, yeah, it wouldn't do very well. You want them to be curious and want to come and check it out and stuff, but if you disturb them, interrupt them, well, waking somebody up in the morning, especially if they're planning on sleeping a few more hours, uh, that would not get them to want to check out that company what you're cold calling about. Uh, and it's not a good impression at all, right? So what you want to do is have a good first impression and get them interested, curious and interested in the company you're uh, introducing, or product or service or something like that. So you want it to be on a good note, and then you have to, like, you won't know if they're having a good day or bad day, but at the same time you don't want to go out of your way to give them a bad day. You don't want to do that. You want to be the cherry on top. So if they're having a bad day, maybe you can brighten their day a bit, and or maybe you can even tell them a joke or something like that. If they're having a bad day and you give them a pretty good joke, maybe it'll uh, improve their day, or at least they can have a vacation from their bad day. So your your call is supposed to be their vacation. So let's say, for an example, a lot of people have a vacation 2 weeks out of a year. So if you could do a few minutes out of a day, just they're on the phone, they have a good chat with you, or chuckle, or something, that they forget about their stress or their bad day, and they just had a good 4 or 5 minutes. Uh, that would be the ideal cold call. That's what you want is uh, to give them an escape or to a relief or whatever you want to call that. What would you say? Anyways, a vacation for the day. So if they had a bad day or not, if they didn't, maybe you're the highlight or the bright. I don't know if I want to use that word, but anyways, little vacation of the day. Uh, that's what you want to do with a cold call. Just a moment. Water running away from me. Jump in and take another sip. Um, so yeah, that's uh, that's what the goal is uh, give them a vacation of the day and get them interested and curious about product or service, and then also a good impression. So maybe one day they'll. Well, ideally, that would be great too. Is one day they'd call that number what you called from for the cold call, just to have a chat with you again because you just made their day, right? So that would be ideally. And I'll keep working at it and see if I can get there. And I don't think that was said right. I'll keep working at it and let you guys see when I get there. That's right. Because it's going to. It's with practice, with enough calls, uh, it will happen. Uh, it might not happen to every individual what I'm able to call. There could be quite a few though. I think I don't know what the ratio is. I guess in the beginning would be only a small percentage, and then as I continue to get better at it, it will improve. And that's what I'm working at is getting that well with sales and socializing, so that uh, people look forward to speaking to me, even when they know I'm selling something or want want to introduce to them something for them possibly to buy. Uh, my whole goal would be for them to buy something, and they don't mind because they have a great time chatting with me. And that's where I'm going with all this, is to be able to achieve all that in a few minutes. Vacation of the day, get them curious and interested, um, and for them to want to talk to me. That's uh, that's what I want to achieve with cold calls. And for closing, I definitely want returned customers. Uh, Actually, with cold calls, I also want that they look forward to speaking with me again. If they call me after, or if I end up on the phone with them and closing them in the future after the cold call, or that they actually call back and say hi, it was pretty interesting or fun or whatever it may be that we had spoken on those few minutes of that cold call what you had done, and I just wanted to say hi, right? That would be great for them to call back something like that. So we'll see. I'll keep going, and you guys watch me till I get there, and it could happen fast. It just to me it seems like it's right around the corner. Like I'm pretty close, to already achieving some of that.